What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everybody who support the platform, man. Much love. I appreciate all the love and the support. Shout out to everybody. If you tuned in right now, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in, man. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in the building. If you tuned in right now, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. After that, following hitting the like button, make sure you hit the share button. Share the show. Share this video wherever you share videos. It's very much appreciated. Those are the first two ways you support the show. Also, if you're new here, this is your first time listening, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I drop some new content. After that, to financially support the show, make sure you go to CashApp $SheepStaySleepTV, one word. That's CashApp $SheepStaySleepTV, one word, is where you can financially support the show, or you can hit the super chat button, leave your questions, your comments, and I will post them. So make sure you do those four things in that order. I appreciate y'all. Salute to everybody. Shout out to the masculine mercenaries. Shout out to the masculine mercenaries, man. One love to all the madam mercenaries. And shout out to everybody who support me DS1 Ross, and this platform. Sheep Stay Sleep TV is very much appreciated. And we back here with another one tonight. And this is gonna be like a part two to the stream I did earlier yesterday, where I got into domestic violence and how it affects the people who's not only participating in the domestic act, but the people who are watching. So make sure you go check out episode 7 of the Esoteric Red Pill Talk series. Make sure you go check that out right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. That is like part 1 to this stream here, which is called A House Is Not a Home. I will be going through my man Luther Vandross's lyrics to that song. That's actually one of my favorite Luther Vandross's songs. As y'all can see from the thumbnail, I got Big Luther up there. Because this song was Big Luther. Some of the best Luther Vandross songs, man, was, Big Luther. And A House Is Not a Home came out in 81. So if y'all know, this is one of his all-time hits. So I will be getting into those lyrics basically to prove that when there's certain traumas that is not addressed in a relationship, that's what happens. The result is not having a home. You may have somewhere to come and lay your head and, maybe get something to eat, take a shower, but a house is not always a home. A house is not always a home. So definitely I will be going through that, through those lyrics. So shout out to y'all. Like I said, shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to KB Rich. I see you. Say, fam, I was fire with that beat. Stay blessed. Appreciate it. Appreciate that, man. Shout out to my man Red Pill Dusty, man. I ain't see Dusty around in a minute. I hope all is well with the brother, but that was my man Red Pill Dusty. Those was his tracks. He's one of the music producers of, for the Black Manosphere. He blessed the Masculine Mercenaries with some hot fire. So that was not my beats, KB Rich. That was my man Dusty. Shout out to my man Dusty, man. But shout out to y'all that's listening, man. Like I said, make sure you go and check out that episode. That is part 1 to this. A House Is Not a Home. Now, a lot of us grew up. Some of us grew up in houses. Our parents, some parents was able to make a good living and they were able to buy houses. And they were able to basically provide their children a certain quality of life. But with quality, you always have to have control. And what I noticed with a lot of people who grew up a little more financially well off, a lot of them still had to deal with domestic issues in the home because money wasn't the problem. The people was the problem. It was people who didn't who didn't know how to address issues correctly. This is why you hear a lot of times, or this is why you see a lot of times, a lot of the rich, you'll see the little rich, Caucasian girl. She want to hang out with the poor black girl because it's fun. Growing up in the hood, it was fun. And the reason why the Caucasian girl like to go to the hood with her poor black friends and play is because she feel loved there. She doesn't see the dysfunction. It's almost like if them girls was to switch places for one day, then they'll be able to understand each other's plight. But a lot of times the ones that grow up a little more financially well off, they deal with those domestic issues a lot more because the trauma runs a lot deeper than, not being able to pay the bills on time. See, a lot of times in a black household, a lot of the parents arguing and stuff like that, it comes from money issues. It comes from a lack of resources. They struggling to make the ends meet. So if you struggling to pay the bills and struggling to make ends meet, your wife, your wife is not going to be happy. Then you not going to be happy because you grinding every day to make the ends meet, and it's hard on you. And it's hard on both of y'all. And y'all both don't know how to just sit down like adults and just express that to one another and explain that and be able to work through it. You see? Because when you come into a situation with all of these expectations, when things go wrong, a lot of times people don't know how to handle it. So if a woman get with a guy and he's financially stable, he's financially secure, things are well, things are going good for him. But let's say something like COVID happened. It's a pandemic. He unemployed for the next 6 months. That their relationship is going to get rocky if that woman is not used to producing at a certain capacity. Especially if he was making good money to where she didn't really have to work. So now she got to step up and do something she's not used to doing. So that right there alone is going to annoy her because she's uncomfortable. And see, a lot of times in relationships, these things are not discussed when they happen. These things are discussed after y'all done had 5 or 10 arguments. After y'all done cursed each other out 2 or 3 times. And we have to understand that this is not healthy. This is not healthy. And when you're cohabitating with someone and you have to deal with these types of things, living there becomes unpleasant for you because you don't really want to be around that person. You see? And when y'all both become irritable of each other, and it's because of what? Not being able to make ends meet. Y'all struggling. So now y'all both real irritable. Y'all arguing. Y'all are already verbally and emotionally abusing each other. So as the arguments get worse, you know, the mudslinging gets worse. This is how the physicality comes into play. Then this becomes this place you call your house, which is supposed to be your home. See, because you can make your home anywhere, because your home is based on a feeling. See, you can't be uncomfortable in your home. You should not be stressed out in your home. A home is supposed to be a place of solitude. That should be anywhere you should be able to find peace at, is your home. But if your first home isn't at peace, which is within, see, because that's your first house. See, that's your first house. Your first house is within. If what's going on within your first house, if your first house is in turmoil, if your first house is in shambles, you cannot go anywhere in the world and make any place your home. Let me repeat that. If you do not get your first house in order, your house within, you don't get your heart right, don't get your mind right, if you don't get your organs right, you don't get your first house, your temple together. If that house is chaotic, if that house is in shambles, you cannot go, I don't care how much money you make, you cannot go anywhere in the world and make any place a home. Because like Lauryn Hill said, how you gonna win when you ain't right within? How are you gonna win when you ain't right within? You see, you got people running around looking for people to give them peace. See, nobody can give you peace. A woman cannot grant you peace, brother. A woman's job is to not grant you peace. See, peace comes from within. Your woman is supposed to please you. So if your woman know you demand peace around you, then she understands that peace is what pleases you. So she's going to make sure that it's a peaceful environment. But her being a woman does not equal peace for you as a man. Your woman is supposed to be a representation of what you want. So if you're about peace, you're supposed to have a peaceful woman. You see? You're supposed to have a peaceful woman because that's what you want. But you also have to be a peaceful man. You see? So you can't go anywhere and create a home or turn a house into a home if your first house is not in order. See? And you got a bunch of people running around in life looking for people to grant them things that they only can grant themselves. Because everything starts with you. And a lot of times we get in relationships and we lose ourselves. You see, we lose ourselves. We start thinking that the person you're in a relationship is responsible for the things that you knew you were responsible for when you were single. You notice when a woman's single now and she all on Facebook, and this how you know, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. This how you know women be crying out for attention from men too. Cause if you single, why you on Facebook keep bragging about being single? It's because you don't like being single. if you're happy with being single, why do you keep making statuses talking about, oh, I love my peace. I'm not gonna let anyone disturb my peace. Stop it. You you want somebody to come in there and interrupt all that shit. I'm happy being single. No, you're not. No, no, you're not. But see, the good part about that is when I see those statuses, I'll be like, oh, okay, homegirl finding herself. See? See, when you single, you realize you're responsible for your own goddamn peace. You're responsible for your own goddamn happiness. And when you understand that, you bring that energy to a relationship. But what happens is, you know, through the honeymoon phase of the relationship, and you're bringing that energy, and she's eating that energy up. What a lot of guys do, a lot of women do, we get comfortable. And this is how we lose ourselves. Like, oh, I'm in the door. I'm good now. Shit. Women do the same thing. Don't mess with my man. You know, same shit. And then we begin to resent the person we in a relationship with because we lost ourselves. We blaming them for something that is our fault. It's not her fault. You forgot you was the leader, homie. That's not her fault. You got caught up in the pooms. You got caught up in that good puss. It happens. Now you following her around in the daytime with a goddamn flashlight. You lost this. It happens. You lost yourself. You can't blame her for that. She's not aggressive because you forgot that you supposed to lead her, no matter how good it is. No matter how good it is. You forgot that you was the leader in and outside the bedroom. See, because a lot of you guys think because y'all good in bed, but I be seeing y'all in public goofy. Y'all be sitting around goofy, walking around with these women, looking goofy. I could see that these women run y'all, but they with y'all because y'all probably smashing them right. Nah, bruh, you the leader in the bedroom and out. And out. See, a lot of you dudes is you only the leader in the bedroom, but in public, she runs shit. And that ain't nobody's fault but yours. Now, y'all both have resentment for each other because y'all both lost sight of what y'all was very aware of when y'all was single. See, because the first house you need to fix is your own. See? So if my house is jacked up, her house is jacked up, and we're cohabitating together in a space, you think there's not going to be chaos? That house is not a home. That house is not a home because there's no peace. There's no progress. There's no order. See? No one feels protected. See, because let me go ahead and put this out there too. Just because there's a man in the house don't mean that the house is safe. See, because sometimes the one who destroys the house is the one who's supposed to run it. See, there's a lot of men who are destroyers and who have destroyed households. You see? Instead of them protecting the people in the house, they were actually hurting the people in the house. They were the monster that didn't come through the front door, you know, with a mask on. He came through the front door as dad or grandpa. See? And men like that are men whose first house isn't in order. See, let me let y'all women know something. Stop having children with men whose house isn't in order. I'm not telling you to seek perfection, but y'all know who y'all should be procreating with and who you shouldn't be. You know that. You know that boy mind ain't right. You know his spirit ain't right. Why you having sex with him? Why you having sex with him? Dick, the dick too good. Same thing with women. You hear me say it all the time. You hear me say it all the time on here. I know what it is to lay up with a demon. Trust me, I do. So I know. But that don't make it right. And when you put yourself in those positions, you can't blame the demon for being a demon. Because the demon, what Jay-Z said, you was who you was before you got here. You was who you was before you got here. So before you knew homie was a dirtbag, he was a dirtbag to plenty other chicks. You thought he decided to be a dirtbag when he started dealing with you? You thought he decided to start smacking broads when he smacked you? See? Stop dealing with people who house, because a house is not a home. See? All houses are not homes. You know how you drive through the suburbs, and you see them big old nice houses? Don't you know there's people in there committing suicide, ODing, because those houses are not homes, because they haven't got their first house in order. And when I was reading the lyrics to Luther Vandross's song, I said, damn, he's really speaking on this is some spiritual shit. That's a spiritual song. And we're going to get into the lyrics. Y'all can sing along in the chat. But that's a spiritual song because he's breaking down what makes a house a home and what doesn't. So just because you see the married couple, the two children, the two-car garage with the picket fence, don't mean that is the quintessential template of the American household, not home. See, that's a household. That's not a home. See, this is why I don't let people into my home. You see, this is why you can legally protect your home. You see, you know why? Because there are people in there that you love. See, see the difference? See, because you could just be staying in somebody's house, but you also could be living in someone's home. But there's a drastic difference. I know y'all just visualize the difference when I said it. So I'm gonna say it again. You can be staying in someone's house. You could stay in anyone's house, spend a night, stay at somebody's house. But you also can live in someone's home. See the difference? So shout out to everybody in the building. Salute to everybody. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Shout out to Cats for hitting the Cash App. I appreciate you. Salute to everybody. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all share the show. Financially support the show. Cash App $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Cash App $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV. One word. Make sure y'all financially support the show. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all share the show too. Make sure y'all share the show. So let's get to these lyrics by the legendary Luther Vandross. This song actually was made in 81. So this was made by Big Luther. See, remember, the music changed a little bit when Luther lost that weight. Remember that. There's a difference between Big Luther and Little Luther. See, a house is not a home. That's Big Luther. Yeah, Luther. Right. Shout out to Peace to the God, Torrance V. Right. That's Luther. Right. Right. Hey, that ain't Luther. Big Luther is Luther. Right. That's Luther. That boy, oh Luther. Mm-hmm. That's a fact. Let's get the old Luther. So this is A House Is Not a Home by Luther. He said, a chair is still a chair. Pay attention, pay attention bar for bar, word for word, line for line. Pay attention to the words. See, this is how they say rapping and music and all of that is all art. It's connected to poetry. Because in order for you to understand the artist that you're listening to, you have to listen to the words. You have to listen to the words. So pay attention to the words. And when I'm reading the words, visualize what he's saying. He said, a chair is still a chair. Now, what I visualized when he said a chair is still a chair is a chair sitting in an empty room. That's what I visualize. A chair by itself sitting in an empty room. A chair is still a chair. Even when there's no one sitting there. But a chair is not a house. And a house is not a home when there's no one there to hold you tight. Did you get the connection? A chair is still a chair, even when no one's sitting there. But a chair is not a house, and a house is not a home when there's no one there to love and care for you. You see the difference? A chair is still a chair, but it's not important until someone's sitting there. A house is not a home unless the people in the house love each other and care for one another. There's a lot of you living in houses with people. That's called cohabitating. You've been cohabitating for 15 years. Your house is still a house. You really not happy being home? Your house is not a home. So let's start it from the top. Bars. A chair is still a chair, even when there's no one sitting there. But a chair is not a house, and a house is not a home when there's no one there to hold you tight, and no one there you can kiss goodnight. A room is still a room. Right. You can have a room in your house. You could go in the bathroom. You could go in the living room. You can have a room in a goddamn prison cell. There's room for you in the cemetery. A room is still a room. Even when there's nothing there but gloom. So what changed the room from being a room? What changes it? What changes it just from being space? A room is still a room. Even if it's dark, it's still a room. But a room is not a house. And a house is not a home when the two of us are far apart. So a room with nothing in it but space is still a room. But what gives the room significance? Light, people. What makes the room comfortable to live in, to stay in? The person or the people in the room. And when those people are gone, you know, you might go on a business trip, you might go on vacation. When you're far apart, it don't feel the same no more. Being in that room, it don't feel the same. It don't feel the same. Because there's no significance. There's no reason behind you being in that room. The reason is now gone. So now it's just a room. A room is still a room when there's nothing there but gloom. But a room is not a house, and a house is not a home when the two of us are far apart and one of us has a broken heart. So when you going off, brothers, and you going to get that money and do whatever you got to do, your woman is going to be sad. She's going to miss you. She's going to miss you. Or let's say y'all might be on a break. Y'all done broke up for something. And she got to sit in the room and look at your stuff. But you're not there. She ain't heard from you. So now she on phone looking at your pictures. Now it's just like, I'm just here. It's a powerful song, y'all. Then he says, now and then I call your name, and suddenly your face appears. But it's just a crazy game. When it ends in tears. So he's speaking on, he's basically depicting how people feel when they lonely in a room. How they can become so lonely, so out of touch that they could begin to see the person that they miss. You know, might be thinking about somebody so much you mess around and go to sleep, doze off, and have a dream. And you wake up in tears. Because you realize the person, how much you really miss that person. And they're not there with you. And they used to share this space with you. Now your house is no longer a home. This is how some people could have big houses and stay in one room and neglect the entire part of the whole house. They'll just stay in their room. This is the type of stuff Luther is speaking on in this song. See? He's speaking on the inner house. See, he's telling you, how could you make your house a home if you have a broken heart? If you haven't forgave yourself for what you've been through, dealing with women, See? How could you ever have a husband, not a sponsor, but a husband, not a sponsor, but a husband? Let me make that clear. How do you expect to get a husband if your house ain't in order? You have a broken heart. You've been jaded by men. But you want somebody to marry you to prove what? What is he going to prove by marrying you? That he's willing to accept the fact that you're not willing to heal. That's what he'll be doing if he marry you. That's what he'll be proving and co-signing. I'm going to be this broken woman's crutch for the rest of my life. I'm going to be this maggle's handler for the rest of my life. This is why I married this cute bozo. Because that's what a lot of you women marry. Cute bozos. He's a bozo. And you know he's a bozo. But he's your sponsor. That's what he is. And this is why your house will never be a home. Because you still have a broken heart. And so does he. You have to heal before you build. This is why domestic violence is so prevalent. Because, like I said in part 1, domestic violence is your demons. It's like your demons being played on a screen. It's a demonic visual. It's a demonstration of your demons. See? And your house will never be a home. It'll never be if you don't fix that first house. You will always be domestically abusive if you don't fix that first house, men and women. We're both abusive, both of us. Both of us. We're not going to sit here. This is not the blame game. So I don't want to see nobody in the chat saying, well, statistics say women hit men more. That's the truth. That is a fact. But we're not doing that here. We're about solutions. See? We're about solutions. We're about understanding the root of a problem and fixing that. See? See, I'm about the politics of myself. I don't care about the politics of the world, and my politics ain't in order. The politics of me and my people ain't even together. But we worry about the politics of the world and the United States. And come on, man. We got it wrong just from that aspect. Because like Dr. Claude Anderson said, the first level was group economics. And how the hell people gonna get together and put some money together if we don't have group think? We don't have group think. We have individualistic thought. So why are we talking about politics? But let's move away from that. Let's move away from that. That's for another video. So he says, pretend it's all, darling, have a heart. Don't let one mistake keep us apart. See, he's telling her, don't be jaded because you got hurt. Darling, have a heart. What Omarion said? I got an icebox where my heart used to be. I'm so cold, I'm so cold, I'm so cold. How's that been working? We know O ain't got no icebox where his heart used to be now. Pretend it's all. Darling, have a heart. Don't let one mistake keep us apart. What are most thinking black men having a problem with nowadays? Finding decent black women. Why? Because she let one dude, one mistake, keep her away from good men. Now she gotta question him. Oh, you gotta prove it to me every day. You a good man. Have a heart. Don't let one mistake keep us apart. This is why this kind of music back in those times were powerful, because they were healing people. He's telling her, you made a mistake. He hurt you. Don't let that ruin it for the next guys. Okay, he wasn't your husband. The next dude might be. If he's not, the next dude might be. Don't let one mistake keep us apart. I am not meant to live alone. You got dudes out here telling men, hey, you do this shit by yourself. Men are not meant to live alone. And when I mean live alone, I don't mean living with somebody or somebody got to live in your house. But when he mean by live alone is mean exist by himself. He was not meant to live alone. He was put here to what? Be fruitful and multiply. I was meant to have women and to have children. I wasn't meant here to be alone. Turn this house into a home. Pretend it's all. Darling, have a heart. Don't let one mistake keep us apart. I am not meant to live alone. Turn this house into a home. Turn this house into a home. That's what you have to do. Because what did I say? You could stay at anybody's house. You can't live in anyone's home. You cannot step your foot in anyone's home. But anybody will let you in their goddamn house and take a piss. Not me. I vet who I let in my home to piss. I don't care if you're a guest. I don't let certain guests in my house. You don't just bring people with you to my home. You got to call. Are you bringing someone? That's me. You could come. Are you bringing someone? They better be leaving. They're not welcome. But see, some people let anybody in their house. Turn this house into a home. Turn this house into a home. How do we do that? How do we do that? If you haven't turned your first house into a home, if you're not a welcoming and pleasing person, how the hell your environment will be that way? As above, so below. As within, so without. As within. See, people as above, so below. You know, these hotep heifers, they think they be saying something slick. As above, so below. But they forgot the other part. As within, so without. So if you think you a whore and feel like you're a whore, you're gonna act like a whore. You're going to present yourself like a whore. Because as within, so without. As a man, if you have low self-worth about yourself, people will see it. You have to turn your first house into a home. You have to be a homely person to create a homely environment. You don't got a goddamn home because you and your wife paid $250,000 for the house y'all sleep in. That don't mean that's a goddamn home. That's an expensive ass house. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is, bro. That's a nice ass house. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. This is why I always use the analogy, demons are beautiful. Because they are. Why you think when they depict demons in these horror movies, there's always a sexy ass woman or a highly attractive man? You know, demons like nice shit. You know, look at Puffy. Let's look at Puffy. You know, he used to let, in Superhead book, she said how when she used to go see Puff, not only will Puff pay her, but Puff will tell her to go in the house, like when she leaves, wherever she got through servicing him at in the house, he allows her to walk through the house and take shit. Corinne Steffen said she took like a $50,000, $60,000 vase out his living room. Demons love nice shit. But that's just what it's just nice shit. He just had nice things in his house. I know I wouldn't feel comfortable hanging around Puffy. For one, he's a sweet water boy. I don't hang out with sweet water boys. You know, Laffy Taffy boys. I don't hang out with fanny pack, you know, fun stick boys. I don't hang out with them. But my point is, it's just a house. These kind of guys, they have a bunch of houses. How many homes do they have? And you could tell, look at their children. Look at their children. That's that'll tell you what type of environment they grew up in. Why all of these rich people, why all their children so highly dysfunctional? Why? Because they didn't grow up in a home. They grew up in a big ass house. That's all they did. That's all they did. That's all they did. He just grew up in a big ass house. Why do you think you hear a lot of these rap dudes when they get on and they start making money? They always come to a point in their career where they have to reassess everything. And when this is why, like I say, I always watch interviews because I notice they always speak about how they say they miss being broke. And what they miss about being broke was the love, the camaraderie, the family, feeling like you at home. Even though we all sleeping on the floor in sleeping bags, I still felt love. Now I got all this money and I'm in this big ass house and I'm not even happy. I can't even sleep in this big ass California king. I can't even sleep because a house is not a home. You is what make that environment what it is. You make your house a home. You have to turn your house into a home. Like Luther said, you got to turn your house into a home. You got to be a wife in order to have a husband. If you're not a wife, you don't deserve a husband. What did Luther say? Let's go back to the lyrics. Let's go read what Luther said. What Big Luther said? We're gonna read what Luther said. What Luther say? Luther said, pretend it's all. Darling, have a heart. Don't let one mistake keep us apart. Do you know that's why most of these women are not marriage material right now? Because they haven't reconciled their own mistakes and forgive themselves for making the messed up their decisions that they made in their life. This is why they still blaming. But what he did and but what he said, but you notice you always that's their favorite word. They'll even get on a panel and agree with you. Yeah, you right, DS1, but what? Because you just you just said I was right, but then you said but 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 you know, but he gotta he gotta do some shit that you don't want to do. He gotta do all the uncomfortable shit to correct himself to be a good man for you, but you ain't ready to be a wife. You still want to play. You still like Netflix and chilling. You still like 100 likes on your pictures. Huh? You still like watching Love and Hip Hop all the goddamn time. You watch more Love and Hip Hop than the goddamn news. But you want a husband. No, you want a maggle. That's what you want. You want a maggle. That's what you want. You want you a cute maggle. You want you an old Derek Jackson type nigga, right? A little cute maggle. You want you a little old Kevy Kev. You want a little sweet water boy. That's what you want. You want you one of them old niggas who eat applesauce out of a straw. you want one of those. You know what I'm saying? He ironing his drawers and shit. You want one of them weirdos. You want a maggle. You don't want a man. You don't want a man. You don't want a husband. Because in order to get that, you got to turn your house into a home, baby girl. You can't let the mistakes keep you apart from the good men. You can't do that if that's what you want to be. You got to heal before you build. See? You're not even ready to be a wife because all the duties of a wife you've already been doing to your boyfriend. And you think that's what being a wife is, making a nigga a sandwich. You think just making a sandwich and making some meals and that ain't it. That ain't the end all be all, baby girl. Just like the end all or be all to your husband is not paying bills. You see? Stop waiting for the nigga to fix himself so you could fix yourself. Let me repeat that so y'all can hear me loud and clear. Stop waiting for niggas to fix themselves to give you an excuse to fix yourself. Because if you're waiting for a nigga to become a good man for you, you'll be waiting till your casket come. Well, I'ma just keep being a thought because all these men are thoughts. So I'ma play the game like them. But you ain't built like us. See, we built to play the game, baby girl. You'll have a tired ass trying to keep up. And that's what a lot of y'all got. A lot of y'all are tired asses. Tired asses don't get, you don't need a ring. Go ahead and keep wearing that tired ass out till you retire. That's how that go. That's how that go. See, only an idiot will put a bunch of money into a used car. It's a used vehicle and you bought it for a reason, right? To get around until you could buy a brand new one. I'm not dressing up a used vehicle. For what? Why am I gonna go buy a used Benz and put rims on it? For what? But I forgot, black people like refurbished shit. And that's what we be trying to do. And what we be trying to marry refurbished goods. We gotta stop that, brothers. Let her ass retire. It's over for her. See, all these women don't want to be for the streets. A lot of them are just doing it for attention. And I'm gonna let you dudes know something too. A lot of these chicks that you see on social media saying this stuff that they be saying, a lot of them just be talking. A lot of them ain't really doing all the stuff that y'all think they doing either. A lot of these chicks just be talking and doing shit for attention because they don't have a life. See? A lot of these chicks get it, they go in the bathroom, they probably just peed and they bored. And that's the third time they pissed in an hour and they ain't got nothing to do. And she already got her drawers on because she ain't go nowhere. Let me take a picture. Let me see how my butt would look if I put it on the sink. This is the mindset of a chick that don't have no life. All the shit that y'all dudes is complaining about, oh, they taking pictures on a sink. Yeah, that's what bored, nothing to do, idle-minded broads, that's the kind of stupid shit they do. Sit on a sink and poke their butt out and take a picture. She ain't got nothing to do. She ain't got nothing to do. She ain't trying to be no whore. She don't have nothing to do. And being that women think about sex more than niggas, let me show my butt. This is natural for women. Women like to show off their body. So that means she a hoe? Because she like to show her butt? Women like to show their ass. Women like to show themselves, not pull their pants down. See, I'm not talking about those. Yeah, I'm not talking about them. The one that'll pull their pants down in the middle of the street and twerk. I'm not talking about them. See, I know when I see a thought and when I see a chick that's bored that don't have nothing to do and that's looking for attention, and that's lonely. See, I know the difference. Shout out to my brother Hills In. Salute, family. Appreciate it. If I missed any super chats, my bad, man. But see, I know the difference. I know the difference. And a lot of these chicks just be trying too hard to get attention. They really don't want what you think they want. They just can't get what they really want. So they feed into the BS, hoping it's some goofy that'll acquiesce to their BS. That's all that is. See, because you have to turn your house into a home. You have to become a wife. You have to become a husband. That's not something you are. That's something you become over time, over mistakes. Over healing and understanding where those mistakes derive from, why you made those decisions. Why she made those decisions. Let's get back to the lyrics, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, too, by the way. Shout out to everybody. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Support the show, man. Cash App $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Cash App $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV, man. Or hit the super chat. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the donations, man. Then he says, I'm going to start from the top. Pretend it's all, darling, have a heart. Don't let one mistake keep us apart. I'm not meant to live alone. Turn this house into a home. When I climb the stairs and turn the key, oh, please be there, saying that you're still in love with me. See? So a house can never be a home without love. And if you don't love yourself, what they always say, you can't love no one else. And that includes your children. That includes your children. See, a lot of y'all like to just say stuff, but y'all are not all inclusive in what y'all say. See, if you don't love yourself, you damn sure didn't love a father. See? You gotta heal before you build. See? Understand what a marriage is. Understand that, man. Because see, overall, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, when you marry, you become one. But you gotta be one with yourself. Because that's the true marriage. You may not ever find a woman to marry. physically. But it all boils down to you. And if you not right, can't expect nobody else to be right for you. So shout out to everybody, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Shout out to Cool Jen. I see you, bro. Peace to you. Shout out to the lovely Chickadee. Salute to you. Shout out to Mr. Greasy in the building. Shout out to my brother Malika. Shout out to Kisses Corner. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Kisses. Shout out to Baby Taylor. What's going on, Baby Taylor? Shout out to the underrated one in the building. Appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to Bronze Dip. I see you, Sun Kissed. Shout out to everybody, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Just wanted to give a few shout outs. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody who donated. I appreciate it. Let me shout out the Cash Apps, and then we're gonna wrap this one up, man. We're gonna wrap this one up. I appreciate everybody, man. Salute to everybody. If you new, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you notify every time I drop some new content, man. And I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Kisses. She said, miss hearing your content. Keep dropping jewels. I appreciate that. Shout out to Dr. Har. I'm not gonna read your government. I'm gonna just say Dr. Har says big up for speaking the facts, fam. Salute to you. Appreciate it. Hey, baby Taylor. Tay Tay. She say for the fire. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Tay Tay. And shout out to Cats for sending that Cash App. Much love to you, the Madam Mercenary. I appreciate all y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. Much love. Shout out to the Masculine Mercenaries. One love to all the Madam Mercenaries. I will be back tomorrow with another one. Y'all stay tuned for more content right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I'm your host, DS1 Ross. And remember, y'all, we got to heal before we build. We got to heal before we build. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.